Is makeup all right? Guitars are getting restringed tonight. Hello YouTube world. Thanks for stopping by. Ed Kirkpatrick. I'm just going to tell an old story here tonight. That's what I like to do. People seem to enjoy it. This here story, well, there's actually two of them about one man. Geez, I'm going to try to clean it up the best I can. I mean, you may not want any youngins around, or I don't know, grandma may go, but I'm gonna try to do it. But anyway, here we go. I'll give you a fair warning. Matter of fact, I'll give you just another second or two if you need to find something for somebody to do. But this here story is about Frank Chambers. He's a buddy of mine, still kicking. About 10 years older than I am. I used to hang out with Frank when I had property on the river, and I sold Frank some property on the river, and that's what I put my son through college with. And still hung out with Frank when he owned the property on the river. And we liked to fish and hunt. Frank liked to really shoot ducks. But anyhow, we was down there one weekend and at the river, camping out. Frank had a duck dog with him, Nugget. One of the best duck dogs I ever seen. He told me, y'all don't know the one he had before that was named Jet. It was a black lab, and it was the best dog he'd ever had. Well, didn't know you back then, buddy, but anyway, we cooked pork chops and baked sweet taters that night. We was going fishing first thing in the morning. We had set out some trot lines and some yo-yos. And we grilled them pork chop, cooked them sweet taters in the coals, you know, and had a good supper. And old Nugget, you know, she running around there, around the picnic table, want something to eat. I gave her a piece or two of that sweet tater. Dogs eat sweet tater, you know. Anyhow, Frank said, "Oh, Nugget, here, take this bone." And he gave her the bone off that pork chop. Well, it's one of them center cut pork chops, and you know, it's kind of like a T-bone. A little dark piece of meat on one side and the other side white, like a New York strip fillet. Anyhow, just like a T-bone, same cut of meat, just off a hog. Well, he told Nugget that bone. Nugget was real mad about it. Just when she got something off the table, she just go, "Boo." I noticed that when I gave her them pieces of sweet tater, she said, "Boo." So, hold on, and I tried to hold it where she'd pull it out of my hand, you know. When she pulled it out of my hand, she still went, "Ooh." Well, that night, she swallowed that T-bone. Ooh. Little pork T-bone, you know. And I didn't think nothing of it, you know. We went to bed, you know, we was getting up. I think we getting up about 5. Fix us a little breakfast and pack a little lunch and get, you know, things you got to do at the last minute. You want it to be fresh. And when I woke up, Nugget's out there hollering. "Arr, arr." And I don't know if y'all seen some of these carpet commercials where they got that lab, you know, dragging his tail across the carpet. And that's what Nugget was doing out there in the woods. Arr, arr. I said, "Frank, what's wrong with Nugget?" "And I don't know. Let me go check." So we went and got Nugget, put a leash on her, brought her back over to camp, and then took the leash off. And Nugget immediately just dropped there. "Frank," I said, "something ain't right, that dog's tail." You know, "Let me look there." And he looked, and there's a piece of that T-bone sticking out the tail. Frank said, "Oh, my Lord, that's that T-bone I gave her last night." Man, I know what it is. That thing done got sideways and hung up. I said, "Oh, gee, what we gonna do, Frank?" He said, "Hang on a minute." He said, "Get a pair of pliers." So, all right, he went and got a pair of pliers. He said, "All right, come here, Nugget. And, well, every time I try to do Nugget, turn around and nip at him, you know. Didn't bite him, but, you know, she let him know, And he said, Ed, hold Nugget by the head there and calm her down. I said, well, give me a minute, Frank, to calm this dog down. That dog's in pain. So I sat there and massaged Nugget and, you know, played behind her ears and everything. Got her all calmed down. And I said, all right, Frank, go ahead and try it. Frank reached back there to try it. And, man, Nugget snapped, but she bit me then. I said, Frank, this ain't going to work. He said, well, let me hold her and here, you take the pliers. Me? Take the pliers. That's the only way we're going to get it done, Ed. All right, we'll do it, Frank. Frank got Nugget, calmed her back down, and he told me just kind of rub her on her hind legs a little bit, let her know you're back there and everything's fine. And then when you get a chance, do it. I said, all right. And we got Nugget kind of calmed down. I rubbed her little hindy legs there, and, you know, she's kind of good. And finally, she perked up. She raised that tail, and I went in. I grabbed that son of a gun, and I just closed them pliers, and I was, it all broke pieces. And I pulled them pliers out. And when I did, it's just like somebody uncorked a champagne bottle. Yep. Blowed all over me. Wasn't planning on getting in the river first thing in the morning that day, but I did. But Nugget was fine, and we knew not to give Nugget any more of them bones. Yeah, we did. That's the story of that one there. But another one come to mind when I was thinking about Frank. And this one's a little risque too. Try to clean it up best I can. We was headed down to Rebecca, Georgia. That's south central Georgia. Rabbit hunting. He knew a fella down there growing a couple thousand acres of cotton, and he'd switch it over, you know, to something else, wheat during the winter, hard winter, and back to cotton. Anyway, he had a lot of rabbits down there, so, you know, we'd go down there and rabbit hunt, and I had a couple of old beagle dogs back then, and we'd make sure we wore an orange hat and an orange vest so we wouldn't shoot each other, and I bought some of them Cardura orange little vests to put on my two little beagles so we wouldn't shoot them. Because I don't know if you ever rabbit hunting, but you side by side, the dog's right ahead of you, you're just following the dogs, and man, one of them barks and yips, and then, you know, next thing you're looking around, and then you holler out, there you go. You're talking about the rabbit, you know. I mean, you ain't got but just a second or two to get on and pull that trigger. Yeah, mostly just throw up at him and pull the trigger. But you got to be careful not to shoot your buddy or shoot the dogs. So we was good at that, you know. It was safe hunting. We got done hunting, got about 12 rabbits, I think 6 apiece. That's what we wrote on our little cards anyhow, be legal. And back them days, South Georgia, it was, you know, you had these little, I don't know, well, my daddy called them one-horse towns, but it's because back then they only had one horse and everybody borrowed him. But it's basically a small town, you know, most of them like 2 or 3 different families. There ain't nothing there. They got a general store probably, and they got a gas station. That's back before convenience stores was really getting popular. And then you know, and they might have somebody work on cars. But they tried to keep them out of town a little bit because they didn't want to jump on Main Street. But anyhow, we got through and we swung in one of them gas stations. And them gas stations back then, they had little add-ons to the side of them, and most of the time them little add-ons had a little separate business that, you know, served cold beer, may have had a pool table in there, may have had one of them long, I call them skeet boards, but big old long table, I think about 14 foot long. You take this little steel hockey puck and roll it down there to stop it at a certain place. Anyhow, They throw sawdust on it sometimes. Sometimes they throw chewed up erasers on it, slow it down. I never really got into it because them boys play for some money. But anyhow, you get the idea of the kind of place, you know, that it is. And they also would serve hamburgers and hot dogs. Most of the time they'd have them, you know, wrap it up, give it to go. But we pulled in there, we was hungry, you know, got us a soda. And then we said, hey, look, they got a little restaurant thing here and a bar. Frank said, yeah, let's go in there for a minute. So let me go get my truck, move it out the pumps. So this is like a one pump station, so you didn't want to block it. So he pulled around the side and he come on back in. We went on in there, sat down at the table there. He said, seat yourself, you know. And we kind of looked around, you know, where's a waitress or barmaid, whatever they call it in this joint. And here she comes, you know, she's just a bouncing and everything on her's a bouncing too. And old Frank looked double eyes and said, man, look at that. I said, hey Frank, we in South Georgia, now that belongs to somebody. You don't be messing with it. We're going to get our tails whooped here. Oh, it'll be all right. She come and said, what can I do for you? Frank said, oh, I could just write you a book on what you could do for me. She said, what do you want? Something to eat or drink? He said, we both want a hamburger. I think, ain't that what you want to eat? I said, yeah, a hamburger. She said, I see y'all already got your drinks next door. You'd have got a bigger one if you'd waited and bought it over here. Frank said, I'm used to having the big ones, baby. But we just need a hamburger right now. So, you know, come back. Frank said, we may have to leave it any minute. So let me go ahead and pay you for this. And he opened his wallet up and pulled out about 600, you know. And thank goodness, I didn't take that little band off. So he took the little band off, laid it on the table, put it on. He had that $100 bill. He said, just take care of it. She said, yes, sir. Sure you don't want anything else? Frank said, oh, no, we're going to have to hit the road here in a little bit. We just stopped by for a little company. Ooh, dropped something. Anyhow, it was about time she was getting off, and next thing I know, we're sitting there eating on that hamburger, and I got grease running down both sides of my chin. It was greasy, sucker. Oh, boy, it was greasy. Anyhow, she come out, and this other little girl come out. They come up and just plop down on our table, and she had done changed clothes, and the other little girl I had never seen. And sat down there and said, hey, we sure appreciate you. She just went on and on and on, you know. And I looked at Frank looked at me, and he just said, GD. And I just kind of laughed and said, yeah. He didn't mean, he meant gold digger. Y'all got to understand, we had codes that you could say in front of people. They thought it meant one thing. I said, GD. Well, glad he said that instead of cussing, you know. No, he was sending me a signal gold digger. And I said, oh, yeah. And this little girl, she tugged on my little sleeve and went talking to me. And she asked me what I'd done for a living. I told her I was at that time, I was pursuing a new career. I was working midnight to 8, sweeping floors in a daggone woolen mill for $5.25 an hour. Yep, well, I was. And you know, that didn't impress her one dang bit. And then the other one popped off there. And asked Frank, well, what are you doing, Frank? I mean, evidently you're doing something right. I mean, you know, you got a nice truck out there, and you tip me real good, and that's why I want to, you know, I want to get to know you. You tip me so good. But what do you do, Frank, for a living? She's making sure this wasn't somebody that, you know, done sold a hot car and had a couple $1,000, and when that was gone, didn't know what they was going to do with it type person. You got to remember where we was at now. Whew. Frank looked at her and said, I invented the barcode. Yeah, barcode, what's that? Frank said, you don't know about the barcode? I mean, you got the man back, early 80s, very early 80s. Barcode was just coming out, and when I say barcode, I got such a bad southern accent. You know what I'm talking about when I show you that little thing right there? Yeah, that's a barcode, okay? And I think Kroger was the first grocery store that actually implemented it. But, and he showed her, you know, barcode on the back of cigarettes. Cigarettes were one of the first things that had barcodes on them because they could track them. Imagine that. So anyhow, I said, and I looked over, I said, yeah. I said, he gets $10,000 check every day for the rest of his life. And that little girl that's sitting next to me, she got up, she went around there, and she sat on the other side of Frank. They all got to understand Frank been married 7 times. But I kind of laughed. Said, you know what? I just think I'll make sure Frank don't get hurt on this one. If I got to drive home, that'd be all right too. Yep, barcode. Boy, how do women run toward that barcode? Jeez, I don't know. But I hope that's all right. I had to tell them 2 stories. A little risque, Not what I normally tell, but, I've got a million stories to tell in just a short time to do it, so. Hope I made you laugh. That was the main thing about it. And I hope I make you, believe in people and love one another and, let Jesus Christ in your life if you haven't already. Ed Kirkpatrick. Thank you, YouTube world. We'll tell another one shortly. Adios.